Hi everyone, welcome back to The Shelves Have Eyes. I'm Phantom, and tonight we'll be making another Harry Potter Potions capsule. Now, how about we open this capsule and see what we got? Well, it looks like tonight we'll be making Leech Juice. Let's take a look at our handy-dandy instructions here. Leech Juice. This is everything that comes in the set. We mix the yellow into the cauldron, and then we mix the green into the cauldron to make a lime green. And we decant, cure, wrap it around with this ostentatiously spooky spider, and then we're done. Seems very simple, so let's get to it. Important to note that this set comes with another 2 candles, so we're just going to add to our assemblage of candles here because our potions classroom needs to be adequately lit. Apparently more lit than any of the dungeons down in Hogwarts. Let's open this cauldron up. Alright, once again we'll be making this in our handy dandy resin container so that you lovely people can see what we're doing. We're almost at the end of the series, and only now am I realizing that I should have been taking notice of how much resin they're giving us. I'd actually really like to know if it's a uniform amount for each set, or whether each of these differently designed cauldrons has a different amount of resin in it. I know that several of the cauldrons, for example, all the cauldrons that look like this with the smooth concave sides, has clear resin in it. And some of the more ornate ones have green or pink. So it would be interesting to know if these things actually matter to Miniverse. We are only dealing with 1 container this time. This little oversized jobby here with the mildly pointed end that has to sit in the stand, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do anything. All right, so it says that we have to mix. That's actually interesting. First of all, this is all over my hands. Second of all, the instructions label this, clearly show this as being a yellow powder, but there's nothing yellow about it. It's just glitter. It's just white glitter. There's nothing yellow about it as far as I can see. Oh, that is, I don't know if you can see it blowing in the wind here. Oh, well, looking at this, it actually does. It's gold. It's not yellow, it's gold. So we'll break this cloudy clear resin up with our gold sparkle glitter dust, which is magical in its own right. And then we add the colorant to it. This reminds me very much of Felix Felicis, except we don't need to crush the pearls to make this. We're just given a powder, which would have made Felix Felicis a lot easier to make, quite honestly. But I digress. Okay, let's add some of our green here. There is no glitter component to this. It is literally just mica powder in a green color. So let's pop this open and let's make it really green, shall we? I think that's good enough to start. So let's move on to lore, shall we?
And I can strongly recommend a course of leeches. Just pop 4 in your mouth in the morning and let them dissolve slowly.
All right. So, Leech Juice. Leech Juice. Leech Juice is, like many of the other potions that we've made in this series, not really a potion. It is an ingredient. Leech Juice is made from crushed up and pickled or stewed leeches pieces, suspended in some kind of liquid. There's something vaguely venomous about it, but that doesn't really mean anything, quite honestly, when potions are concerned for the wizarding world. It is definitely sparkling, so that means that there's magic involved. But aside from that, it really just looks green. There aren't any bits of leech in this. So maybe whatever, this is just the runoff preservative fluid that the leeches are suspended in. Maybe you don't need the actual parts of the leeches. Maybe you just need the liquid that they have made into a sort of essence. The first time we see leech juice or see leech juice mentioned in the books, it is in Prisoner of Azkaban, during a potions class in which Snape berates Neville Longbottom for adding too much leech juice to his, I believe it was a shrinking solution, which is also the only book-related potion that we know leech juice is a component of. The instructions, whatever we're told, state that you just need a dash of leech juice, just a dash, and that adding too much leech juice causes the potion to become orange instead of what is described as being an acid green color that the shrinking solution should be. Now, it's actually interesting because leech juice is green here, so that means that no matter how much you're adding, it really shouldn't be making any other color other than green, but that's magic for you, right? It'll change the color of anything that you touch. Aside from Snape berating Neville Longbottom about that, that is really the only mention of leech juice. It's never mentioned again as part of any other potion in the book series. The ingredient is never even mentioned anywhere else, really. And in fact, we never see shrinking solution in action. It's just happened to be what the Gryffindors were making during that particular class. And that just happened to be the thing that Snape hooked onto as being a deficit in Neville Longbottom's potion-making skill. He added too much. One thing is that just like any other potion, if it's brewed incorrectly, it can become poisonous. So perhaps too much leech juice in the potion makes the shrinking solution not only turn orange instead of its quote-unquote characteristic acid green color, but perhaps that makes it toxic. We don't really know. Nothing is ever really described about it, aside from the fact that it is made from crushed and liquefied leeches, which, sure, I mean, is that really so much further than Eye of Newt from Macbeth, quite honestly? Now, as I'm mixing this, I don't know if you can see this or not, at the bottom of the vessel here, there are little tiny flecks of concentrated mica powder that didn't get absorbed. Maybe those are supposed to be the crushed or stewed bits of leech in it. I'm just going to say that that's correct. Miniverse doesn't really give you anything other than the strict directions that you saw, so that's about it. So, lore is complete. Our potion is adequately mixed. So how about we decant? Does not look like they gave us enough resin. Let's see if there's any more hiding in here that we can use in the column. Well, that looks like all that we're getting. So once again, this is an example of a potion where they don't give you quite enough resin to fill the bottle. Well, let us cure anyway, and maybe we can see what we can do to maybe mitigate some of this issue.
Eight hours later.
Alright, so essentially because they didn't give me enough resin to completely fill the bottle, What I did was I took a page from the instructions to the potions classroom, where the read me first instructions, which I never do, did state that in order to get suspended ingredients to look like they are suspended, you should tip the bottle on its side and cure all the way around so that it looks like it is uniform, even though those particular ingredients, because if you just did it upright, the ingredients would just sink to the bottom. So what I did was, it took a very long period of time, but I slowly rotated this bottle as I cured, and so as you can see, for the moment, it looks like it is full. Even though it is not. It's about 3/4 of the way full, but I think that came out pretty well. So, that is the curing process. I never even used this little ladle. So let's put our little decorative spider and spider silk fiber color on, shall we? You know me, I just love these little things. Okay. MG, I've got a bone to pick with you. This is elastic. That would have helped so much with other potions. This is elastic. That means that it is much simpler to do. Now let's see if it is as simple as I think it's going to be now. Cork in our bottle. Now we want to make sure that the spider sits flat against the bottle. And we also want to make sure that these are uniform in length. Bollocks. Oh, bollocks. Oh, come on. All right, so there you have it. Very poorly tied, but here is our leech juice. So on the whole, I say that I would be remiss in stating once again that this is not a potion, this is an ingredient. There are only 2 more sets left to go, Murtlap Essence and Wolfsbane. And Murtlap Essence is, once again, not a potion. It is, in fact, an ingredient. Wolfsbane, at least, is a potion, so hopefully I'll have something a little bit more to talk about in the lore section of that particular video. On the whole, I think that this is extraordinarily cute. I actually really like it. I think the color is amazing. And, yeah, I'm kind of miffed that they didn't give me enough resin for this, but I think that what I did to make it look full succeeded very well. I really like the spider attachment, even though what the spiders have to do with leeches, but whatever. So yeah, I would say this is a success. I really like the color of it. I really like the bottle. The bottle is very unique among the rest of the potion bottles. My initial statement that I think that the stretchy fiber cord would have been easier was kind of wrong, because this was so small that when you try to tie it, the cord wrapped around the elastic band, the color here, the rainbow coloring, comes right off, just strips right off. And the edges are frayed. They're not actually like glued like the aglets on Felix Felicis or some of the other ones. It was just as difficult to work with as any of the other cords. Thankfully, nothing is as difficult as the Infusion of Wormwood. What they asked you to do to make that look correct was absolutely nuts. There you have it. This is our leech juice. We're running up to the end here for the series. I did enjoy making this. I'm sad that it didn't have more lore attached to it, and I'm sad that it's not really a potion. But if the leaks are any indication, we will probably be getting more Harry Potter MGA projects. Quidditch outfits and brooms and the Quaffle Bludger Snitch chest. I don't know how those are going to be projects other than like construction, like the mandrake root. I don't think any of them really look like they're going to have a resin component to it. So, but you know what? This was fine for what it was. It was simple, it was fun, I enjoyed making it, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make it and struggle immensely with it. Well, that seems to be it for this episode of The Shelves Have Eyes. Thank you very much for joining me, and if you do enjoy this content, please think about liking this video and subscribing to the channel so you'll know when the next video drops. I've been Phantom, this has been The Shelves Have Eyes. Have a good night, y'all.